Hello people, Jeff the King here with Team Critical Trigger, and welcome to another deck profile. Today we have my Spectral Duke Dragon Gold Paladins. Now, unlike my last deck profile, this actually is a bit more incomplete, but not too much. Enough for me to want to actually show you still what the deck is. So we'll start off with grade zeros. We have here the Black Dragon Whelp, Vortimir. Yeah, I think it's Vortimir you pronounce it. He is the starting Vanguard that I'm running, and his effect when he's ridden by the grade 1, you look at the top 7 cards and you can look at the grade 2 or the grade 3 of the right chain, which I'll get to in a second. Now the triggered amount is a bit weird because, well, first of all I'm running 1 stand trigger, just 1. I'm running 7 critical triggers, 3 of this guy, 4 of this guy, because this guy effect not very useful, comes in handy every now and again obviously, so I've got 4 of him in. 4 heal triggers and 4 draw triggers. Now the draw trigger I am running 4 is his effect is very useful because this entire deck's based around superior calling from my deck, and if I accidentally hit this guy it's not the end of the world, because if he's called from the deck I get to pick another gold paladin. It gains 2000 until the end, so if you accidentally hit a trigger with one of your effects it's not the end of the world. So 4 of this guy because his effect is very useful and drawing cards is always good. So why have I got 1 stand trigger? Well, simply because every so often this stand trigger has come in useful. Every time I hit it I always use it, unless I hit it really early game, but it's very unlikely because there's only 1. Hitting this late game, very good. Having more than this I don't really think I really want to do, but the 1 trigger, it's always come in handy, so I just kept 1 in. Criticals because I want the deck to push through with my attacks, so obviously that's obvious, and 4 heals is the standard unless you're getting an unbelievably aggressive deck, which I have done before. It's grade 1s now. 4 of the perfect guard, 3 of the perfect guard. I'm wanting a 4th because nowadays limit break cards and cards that just hit stupid attacks, perfect guards, just screw over the entire deck, such as this build, the Azel Gold Paladin Azel deck. If you hit a perfect guard when you've used Azel twice, then you're basically you just screwed yourself. So a 4th perfect guard just for those reasons. It stops the big dudes, the massive attackers. I'm running 2 of the grade 1 Valkyrie, which is called Black Blade Feather Valkyrie. I always call it Black Feather. I call it the black one and the white one because it's just black wings, white wings, whatever. But the Blade Feather Valkyrie, now I'll get onto its effect once I hit the explain the grade 2 as well. 4 of the 8k vanilla boosters because 8k vanillas are amazing, and 4 of the grade 1 of the ride chain. Now this dude, obviously when he rides at that you look at the top 7. When he's ridden by the grade 2 you look at the you can retire one of your other gold paladin rear guards, look at the top 2 cards of your deck and call as many of those 2 open rear guards, and then you can put the others at the bottom of the deck in any order you want. Most of the time I don't really do that, I just call them out. Very good because you call him out on your first turn, put that to that doesn't go to rear guard, you look at top 7, sorry, put anything in your hand to rear guard. I've even had to put him to the rear guard before, but I still do it because get rid of 1, get another 2. Early game amazing, late game not as amazing, which I'll get into further when I get through this. So grade 2s, Vivian, because it's all about calling from the deck and she calls from the deck, and also she forces out guards, which is a very good thing. Every time you attack with her, more than likely your opponent's going to guard. If they get experience with this deck, it's even more likely because they know what will happen if you hit certain things. For instance, I run 3 of the white Valkyrie, the Flash Edge Valkyrie grade 2. Now this, when it's called from the deck, you counterblast 1, look at the top card of your deck, and call it from the deck. So Vivian, if they don't guard it, they have the small chance, no, not massive, but the chance that I'll hit this, which makes them even more likely to guard. They're very likely to guard Vivian anyway. Combine it with this as effect, and they're like, well, that can be a +2 for this guy instantly. You can get 2 cards straight onto the field. I've got to guard this. I mean, it's a small chance, but you just don't want to take that chance. I'm only going to be running 2 of this Flash Valkyrie eventually, because at the moment I only have 3 of the grade 2 ride chain, but before that I've got 4 of the grade 2 10k vanilla, because he's a 10k vanilla, always useful. Simply, for people that don't know, in fact, yeah, for people that don't know, a 10k vanilla is always useful because If they have an opponent has a 10k grade 3 Vanguard, this can attack through even without a boost, which forces at least a 5k guard. This is why people always run these. This is just for the beginners, the people that don't know this. I'm going to be releasing a video about hitting the right numbers soon anyway, so good and good. Always put like 4 of each in, unless, I don't know, Nova Grapplers, you've got no room. You either have to pick Genocide Jack or your 10k vanilla. That's like one of the only bloody instances where you don't need these. But every other deck, you should be running these. 3 of the grade 3 ride chain, grade 2 ride chain, sorry. The Black Dragon Knight Vortimir. This one's called Scout of Darkness Vortimir, in case you want to look them up. I forgot to mention that one. I want a 4th, which will take out the Valkyrie, and then that's my grade 2 lineup done. That's how I want it to be. He does the exact same thing when you ride Spectral Duke, the grade 3 of the ride chain, on top of him. You retire 1, call 2. I very hardly actually use that ability. Him, I use every single game if I get the chance. I very rarely ride Spectral Duke onto him, and I'll explain why in a second. At the moment I have 1 Spectral Duke. I'm wanting either 2 or 3. I'm still iffy on how many. I've seen lots of people run 4. I'm not running 4. I think 3 will be my maximum. I'm still iffy if I can run 2. If I can get away with it, I will. If I can't, then I'll be running, obviously, more. To replace, at the moment I've got these Lucans in, but they will be replaced with the Spectral Dukes. If I only get 2 of him, only one of these will go out for a Spectral Duke, the other one will go out for a 3rd Garmor. Now, I'm still iffy on 3 or 4 Garmors. Garmor is very, very good. But do I need 4? I don't know, because my other one here is Gigatech Destroyer. He's basically the only one of all these dudes that actually works on Rearguard, which is why I'm still thinking about only putting 3 Garmor in. And then 3 Garmor, 2 Spectral Dukes if I can get away with it, and that'll get rid of both these Lucans, and then I'll still have 2 of these in. If not, it'll have to be one of these. I'm still iffy about having to get rid of both, because he's the only grade 3 I've got that can work on Rearguard. It's the only reason, but it's a very good reason, because on a Rearguard, him with an 8k, he hits 20k on Rearguard, which is very good. But I might not need him eventually, so the grade 3 lineup is the thing I'm most troubled about. Now, the reason for Spectral Duke only wanting to run 2 if I can get away with it, 3 if I can't get away with it, but I definitely won't be running 4, is because, as I said before, I never really ride Spectral Duke onto the grade 2. I always ride Garmor if I've got the opportunity. Now that stops my chain, I know, but and 1, Spectral Duke still gains the 1000 as long as he's in the soul. He doesn't have to be on top of him, that guy just has to be on the soul, so I can ride Spectral Duke late game, which is what I want to do, and still get the boost and still have his Limit Break effect, which is a very good effect. You can Counterblast 2, retire 3 of your Gold Paladin Rearguards, he stands and he can attack again, obviously because he's stood, but he loses Twin Drive. Very good effect. Means you get another attack that turn, because its effect, he doesn't have to hit for it, which means if the perfect guard him or something, you get an extra go that turn. I love Spectral Duke's effect. But for retiring late game, like I said, retiring 1, getting 2, very good. Late game doing it because of the chances of you screwing yourself over by hitting triggers and stuff, triggers that you want to be in your deck. I don't really do it. I go for the more controlled ride of riding Garmor, and that way I can Counterblast 2, pick any grade 2 from my deck and ride that instead. More than often I'll probably ride Valkyrie, which I've got the 1 chance of hitting something I don't want to hit, but it's not that big a deal if I hit 1, but hitting 2 on the top of your... imagine it. You ride Spectral Duke on him, you look at the top 2 and you hit 2 criticals and you're like, well, that's just shit. I would have hit them in the attack this turn, but no, I can't do that now. You might have heard that, that was my dog outside my door then. So, I don't know, I love the Valkyries, and hitting 1, okay, I can get away with, but I don't know, I just love riding Garmor. Garmor is probably my favourite grade 3 Gold Paladin, just for how controlled you can bring him out. He'll be even better once this deck's how it's going to be, which will be, the Spectral Duke chain will actually be going out of my finished deck in a few months, and I'll be putting in Pellinore, Loppia Shooter, and the grade 1 that I can't remember its name of. Loppia Shooter, when he's called from the deck, you look at the top 3, pick 1, ride that. A very, very better version of Valkyrie. Instead of counterblasting 1, you have to discard a card, so you don't gain any advantage from it, but you get to look at the top 3 cards and pick the best one to ride, which means you get a very controlled ride and you get exactly what you want. That's how my deck's at the moment. I'm still iffy on the grade 3 lineup. I know exactly how I want the grade 2s to be. I'm not going to worry about it too much because, like I say, it'll be getting replaced once the Pellinore alt stuff comes out, because I love the superior calling abilities. This is why I built this for now. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I would like some advice from you. What do you think? Do you think I can get away with 2 Spectral Dukes? Do you think 3 or 4 Garmors? What's your advice? I would like some advice on that. I'm still a bit iffy about it, but so far I'm very happy with how the deck's playtesting. It's doing very well. Every so often I screw up when I have to ride a Lucan. He is a good card. I love Lucan's effect. I think he's very underrated, but he doesn't work with the rest of the deck is the only problem. But as it is at the moment, it's playing well. I just need to get the few cards that I need to finish it. I mean, I'd be happy just getting one of him, and one of him. If I can get those 3 cards, I'll be able to run the deck happily and not be worried about not having as much as I want, and then just get stuff eventually to twist it around and playtest. To be fair, if I get another 4 marks, I'll probably build the both decks. I'll probably happily have 2 gold Paladin decks and run both builds. I'm not bothered about Azel. I like Azel's effect, but at the same time, I like the more controlled calling that Garmor has rather than Azel's just random. Obviously the attack's good, but like I say, if it's a perfect guard, then you basically screwed yourself. So, please leave a like, please comment, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.